This is the first time I've ever done something like this. This will probably be the only time I'm ever going to do something like this. There are just a few things that I feel, not that I have to say, but just that I really want to say about this episode of Death Battle, the upcoming episode of Death Battle, which I believe is also the Season 3 finale, that I didn't want to make a separate video for. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is the Raptor, and welcome back to another Death Battle prediction video. This is actually a prediction and a rant video all in one, because I didn't want to make a separate video about this. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So, for those of you who watched Zoro vs. Urza, or who watched my reaction to it, which I posted yesterday. Oh, by the way, sorry for not making this video earlier. It's just that, I watched the Death Battle really late last night, and I really wasn't up to making anything else that night, so I just literally am making this video as soon as I possibly can, so here it is. But I was surprised to see who was next, who was Deadpool. Now, for those of you who don't know, Deadpool, which I'm assuming you guys do, because I believe, like, the other episode that he's in is, like, the second most popular on Screw Attack's channel, but he was already in a death battle against Deathstroke, and Deadpool won for good reason. Deadpool had a much better healing factor that Deathstroke just couldn't get past. So, to see Deadpool coming back, I already was not impressed. I was not happy with it, for a few reasons. One of them is just because, like, I don't like it how they're bringing back characters more often. I know, like, more often, like, is, like, a bit of a strong term to use for just, like, two characters are being brought back, you know, Shadow and Deadpool in a short amount of time. But for Death Battle standard, that's very weird. They usually don't bring back characters. So I was already thinking, I don't like this, especially since they're bringing back a winner. I understand why they're bringing back losers like Shadow and Batman, and Charizard, you know, when he fought Greymon, even though there's technically Pokemon versus Digimon. I understand why they do that. The only problem with that, though, is that no matter who wins, if the guy wins or loses again, there's always going to be some sort of, like, hate. Like, for Shadow, some people were saying, oh, you guys just, like, really must hate Shadow, you know, if you're making him lose twice. And for Batman, I'm sure there's got to be at least one person that said, you're just doing this to, you know, to make the people who love Batman, when they hated seeing him lose to Spider-Man, you're making those people happy. I'm sure there's at least one person that said that. So that's the problem with bringing back losers, or bringing back any characters. And now they brought back a winner. And I'm just thinking, why? Why would they bring back a winner? It just doesn't really make any sense to me. This guy already won. Bringing back losers, sure, give them a chance to redeem themselves. I say chance because of what happened to Shadow. You know, that's because they concluded that Mewtwo would beat Shadow, but that's not the point. The point is, you know, like, yeah, bring back losers, give them a second chance. But bringing back Deadpool, I don't get it. Like, the only time they ever really brought back winners was for Goku vs. Superman 2, but that was a rematch. Boba Fett vs. Samus, which was a remastered, and Leonardo vs. Zitz, or Zitz vs. Leonardo, which was just a follow-up to the TMNT Battle Royale. So, you know, it doesn't make sense to me. Why would they do this? The only reason why I think that they might do this is like a Vegeta versus Mewtwo thing. Remember that whole thing, like the April Fool's Day joke? But April Fool's Day is still a ways away, so I doubt that's what's going on right now. But, you know, I was just thinking, you know, maybe I can live with this. Maybe if they can find a good opponent for Deadpool, I might be happy. Because Deadpool's not invincible. The only time he was ever invincible was when he had the Immortality Curse, when Thanos put the Immortality Curse on him. But I believe he had that removed. So, he's not really invincible. Really, it is hard to kill him. But the ways to do is, like, throw him into the sun, or disintegrate him completely, or just, like, somehow find a way to take away his healing factor, or something like that. You pretty much have to get rid of every cell in his body or something in order for him to stop regenerating and for him to stop coming back, because he can survive being decapitated and put his own head back on. So he's not invincible, but he is really hard to kill. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe if they can find, like, a good opponent, I might be happy with this. You know, this is the season finale. Let's give them a chance. And then we found his opponent, which is Pinkie Pie from My Little Pony. Now, I understand that some of you guys might actually be excited for this, and I'm not saying that, like, oh my god, this is the worst thing in the world, you know. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that this is, like, the absolute worst thing in the world. I personally just don't approve of this. This is supposed to be the season finale, and it seems at this point they're not even really trying. Like, I know that some people have actually thought of this fight before, because these two characters are both very known for breaking the fourth wall. Which, is the only connection these two characters have. But I'm just thinking, it doesn't even look like they're even trying anymore. Like, this is the season finale, the first season finale that's going to be a 2D animated fight. So I'm just thinking, okay, that's a bit weird for a season finale. Maybe they just didn't have time. But again, this is like 2D animated fights in a row, and that's weird. That doesn't happen all that often these days. Like, ever since Solid Snake versus Sam Fisher or whatever, they've been going like back and forth 2D, 3D for most of the time. So I'm just thinking that's a bit weird. But now I'm just thinking, like, are they really even trying? Like, I'm not trying to offend anyone when I say this, but honestly, season 3 I feel has been the worst season. Like not just because it's the shortest. Well, that might be a part of it, but not just because it's the shortest. It's also just because some of the battles, you know, the episodes have just been shorter. They have still been funny, but it's like they've had some questionable results. I agree with the results. It's just like some of them are a bit questionable. And if you guys like don't agree with the results, I'm not trying to offend anyone. I'm just saying my own personal opinion. But at this point, it seems like the season 3 has already been somewhat of a letdown, just because, you know, like, I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just for me, it's been somewhat of a letdown. And now it just looks like they're just spitting in our faces. I'm a bit ticked right now that they're just making this like Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie. Maybe I'm just a bit salty because I really thought that the season finale was going to be Galactus versus Unicron, which is a fight that I've been waiting for years. It's a fight that I've really wanted to see. I don't know all that much about Unicron, but I love Galactus, and I'm just thinking that'd be an epic fight to see. I know some stuff about Unicron, and oh my god, I would love to see that fight. And I know it's a very highly requested fight. I know that they even said, like, that it's been a very highly requested fight, and I think, has it been confirmed that they're going to do it? I really don't know. But even so, like, no, I wanted to see it. Like, I wanted to see it so bad. So seeing Deadpool already, part of it was like, part of the reason why I love Deadpool. I freaking love Deadpool. He is in my top 20 list of my Marvel characters. I'm not saying top 10 because he's probably like around 11 or 12, but I do love him. I love him so much. He's like my favorite anti-hero by far of anything. But I didn't like seeing him because I really wanted it to be Galactus versus Unicron, but also because of the whole returning combatant thing. But now, are they really even trying, like, Pinkie Pie? Like, I know they did Starscream versus Rainbow Dash, and that was funny. But, like, for the season finale, really, guys? Really? A 2D animated... Unless this is something like Vegeta versus Mewtwo. Like, it's like an April Fool's Day thing that's like... Well, it's not April Fool's, but, like, it's only, like, a minute long or whatever. In that case, I'm not even sure why I'm making this video. I'm not even sure if this whole thing, like this whole Deadpool versus Pinkie Pie, is just a prank that someone's pulling on us or whatever, but it was on the Death Battle wiki page, and it's been said, you know, don't update them if you know, it hasn't been confirmed yet. So I really doubt that's what's going on. I think this is legit. Again, some of you guys may like this, some of you guys may be really hyped for it. I'm not really hyped for it at all. And because, like, Death Battle's gonna be taking a break probably until March, like they did in earlier 2016 when they ended it with Pokemon versus Digimon. So I don't know. It's just I'm a bit ticked off right now. Sorry about this whole thing. I guess, would you really consider this a rant? This is more so my, like, personal opinion on it. I'm not really acting all angry or whatever, even though I kind of am a bit angry. You just can't see it. But, you know, I'm just a bit ticked off. This is not really what I expected from these guys for the season finale. But anyway, now that's over with. Let's get into the prediction, I guess. So Deadpool and Pinkie Pie. I have never watched anything like MLP, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. I'm aware of it. I have never watched anything of it, though. So I did do some research on Pinkie Pie, and Pinkie Pie, like, when I looked at her abilities and stuff, like, it said stuff like, what did it say? Like, expert ice skater, expert baker, a very talented instrument player, and stuff like that. You know, like a singer and dancer, a party planner. It said a lot of stuff like that, and it didn't give a lot of, like, what she can actually do for a fight. And that makes sense. I mean, like, My Little Pony is, I'm assuming, is not, like, a fighting thing. No, it definitely isn't. But, you know, it's just... It didn't really give me that much to work with. The main things that it gave me to work with, though, is that, like, the cartoon physics and Pinkie Pie's speed. Because of the cartoon physics, you know, like, kind of like with Rainbow Dash, when they were talking about, like, Starscream versus Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie is able to, like, get right back up from, like, falling or whatever. I don't know, something like that. You know, like, when they said, like, Rainbow Dash can, like, smash right through a rock and get right back up. You know, cartoon physics, that works, and I see them using something like that, like they did in Starscream versus Rainbow Dash. It also seems like she can like appear right next to her opponent. I don't want to say opponent, but like right next to someone immediately. I'm not sure if that's really right or not, but that's what I looked at like one of the wikis for Pinkie Pie. So that kind of either suggests a great level of speed or teleportation. Not sure how Death Battle is going to interpret that, but whatever. Going to the speed though, apparently, I'm not sure how true this is, but apparently she's able to match Rainbow Dash's speed. I'm not sure if Rainbow Dash is going at her fastest, but at her fastest with like the double rain boom or whatever, she can go like Mach 10, something like that, which is crazy fast, 10 times the speed of sound. And the speed of sound is already 761 miles per hour or 340 meters per second, so just multiply that by 10. Not sure if that's where Pinkie Pie's stats lay. Not like maybe it's just a bit slower than that or something. Maybe it's kind of like with Amy and Sonic, how Amy's not as fast as Sonic, but she can definitely keep catch up to him sometimes. Maybe it's something like that, but regardless, that does mean that she is fast. She would be fast, especially when she's flying. I believe she should be able to fly, right? I believe she also has some sort of like pony sense or something. I have no idea, but it's like again something where I looked at the wiki. It's like she can. How do I even explain this? It's like she can sense things with like, I don't know, like an achy shoulder or something, or like a twitchy nose or something, some sort of like pony sense. However, it's more so along the lines of like, today is my lucky day, or like there's an alligator in my tub or something. Again, this is just something that I'm not even sure how like real that is. That's something I looked up on a wiki. So no matter how powerful it is, it's definitely not to the level of Spider-Man's spider sense where you can like detect danger. I'm assuming it's not anyway. So yeah, like those are the main things I feel I really need to know about Pinkie Pie. Deadpool, I feel I don't really need to go over this, but he has superhuman strength, speed, durability, that insane healing factor I was talking about before. He has a ton of guns and swords, his katanas, I believe they're katanas. Yeah, my trusty rusty twin katanas. And machine guns. And he also is a great fighter, a great assassin, a martial artist. He's not too smart in battle, and he's become quite careless because he believes he's invincible, which he isn't, but he is hard to kill, obviously. But he has fun in battle, he cracks jokes, and when it comes to Pinkie Pie, I'm not sure exactly what she would do in combat. That's kind of hard to say, but, I feel it wouldn't be much better than Deadpool. Kind of like with Rainbow Dash, like, you talk a lot, something along the lines of that. I really have no idea. I don't know how Pinkie Pie really, Oh, another thing about Pinkie Pie, I think she has a good memory. That's just something I wanted to throw out. She has like a good memory. I'm not sure how that really affects how she fights or anything like that. But my point is, Deadpool, he's become quite careless in battle. He also has the magic satchel thing, kind of like the cartoon physics or whatever, where he can like just pull like anything from anywhere, something like that. So that's interesting. Another thing is that like it's hard to predict the opponent's it's hard for the opponent to predict his next moves. Deadpool himself sometimes can't even keep up with whatever he's doing. So that's my analysis on the two characters. Man, this is so awkward. But now, who I think is gonna win? Okay, this is hard. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, and I feel like I have to give like a certain answer depending on what type of fight this is. I don't know if this is a real fight or if this is something like is this a real fight or is this like a joke? Is this something like Vegeta versus Mewtwo when it's like neither of them die, or is it gonna be like where both of them die, which I doubt's gonna happen because like how's Deadpool gonna die? And it's like, or is it gonna be something like Yoshi versus Riptor, where they're actually gonna find a way to make Pinkie Pie win? Now I'm not saying that Yoshi wouldn't beat Riptor. Like I actually like the logic they used for it. Granted, I don't know that much about Riptor, but my point is, it's like, are they gonna find a way to make Pinkie Pie win? So it's hard. Like I don't know what kind of fight this is. Realistically, who should win this fight? In my opinion, Deadpool. Just because, not only is it just my word, like what I know, but it's like some people on the internet, and even one person in the comments section said, like, as a fan of both My Little Pony and Deadpool takes this with like little effort or whatever. So that's I don't know that much about My Little Pony. From what I've looked up and from what other people have said, Deadpool takes this. For me, really the only advantages that I see Rainbow Dash. Stop saying Rainbow Dash. The only advantages that I see Pinkie Pie having are speed and maybe some sort of like more level-headedness. I don't know. Like, maybe that's right. I really don't know her personality enough. And memory, I guess. But again, like, none of these have anything really to do with combat. And, you know, Starscream, I accept that Rainbow Dash would beat Starscream because Rainbow Dash is extremely fast and Starscream is just an idiot. Even though the whole like, the spark thing or whatever, that's still a bit iffy with me. But regardless, it's like, I feel that if they were to actually analyze this and do this in regular Death Battle style, Deadpool would win. The only ways I can see maybe her winning is if she can survive in the vacuum of space, she could, like, throw him into the sun. I'm not even sure if she can. But even so, Deadpool can teleport. So could he just teleport back down to the ground? I don't know how much that's limited by, but even so, like, Deadpool, like, has ways of just getting past that, you know? Like, he can pretty much do whatever he wants. Like, I don't want to go that far, but I think you guys know what I mean. But I don't know how this is going to work. So here's what I'm going to say. This is the first time I've ever done this, and I even asked one of my friends if I should say this in the prediction, and he said I should. What I'm thinking is that Pinkie Pie will not win. I'm not going to say Deadpool wins. I'm going to say Pinkie Pie won't win. Because, like, will it be a tie? Will Deadpool win? I don't know. So here's what I'm thinking. If Deadpool ends up winning this battle, I'm going to put that as a right for my record. Just because, you know, Pinkie Pie lost, Deadpool won. I'm just going to put that as a right for my record, and even though my record is pretty bad right now, I believe it's like 5 rights and 7 wrongs. It would have been 6-6 if Hulk had just beaten Doomsday, because I didn't make a prediction for Zorro versus Urza, because I just didn't know nearly enough about the characters. Anyway, getting off topic. So, I believe that Pinkie Pie will not win. If Deadpool wins, I'll put that as a right for my, record. If it's a tie in any way, shape, or form, if they both die, if they both end up living, no matter what, I'm not going to say that as a right or a wrong, because as soon as you hear, oh, it's a joke fight, then you automatically know that either both of the characters are going to die or both of the characters are going to survive. Like, it's going to be either a double KO or it's going to be something like Chuck Norris versus Sekida Sanshiro. So, honestly, if it's like a tie in any way, shape, or form, I'm not even going to make like a third category as like a tie section where I get one, because that's just not fair, I feel. That's not fair. I don't even know what I would even call that section. So that's not going to affect my record at all. And if Pinkie Pie wins, then yes, I'll put a wrong. But anyway, my prediction, I guess since Deadpool winning would give me a right, I guess my prediction is saying that Deadpool would win. But the main thing I'm trying to get across is that I don't think Pinkie Pie would win, or at the very least, I don't think in any way, shape, or form she should win. But, you know, they both break the fourth wall, and her speed, it is going to make her hard to catch, but overall, Deadpool is just, he's crazy. He's able, like, it just seems like he can get anything done, you know, it's just, because he's just, like, fourth wall awareness, and just, you know, teleporting and, like, bringing anything out whenever he wants it. So, yeah, I guess that's really all I have to say. To summarize everything, Deadpool, I feel, should win this if they were doing this correctly. Who knows, maybe somehow I'm wrong. If she can survive in the vacuum of space and throw him into the sun, but would she really know that? Wouldn't she be dead by that point? I don't really know. But I think that Pinkie Pie will not win. If Deadpool wins, a right for my record. If Pinkie Pie wins in any way, shape, or form, a wrong for my record again. And if it's a tie, again, I'm not going to do anything, because even though, like when I say Pinkie Pie will not win, some people might be thinking, well, if you're saying that, then you should get a right if it's a tie as well. Well, no, I'm not going to do that, because I don't know if it's a joke fight or not. And as soon as you hear it's a joke fight, it's like, okay, you know what's going to happen. Or at least you know that neither of them there's not going to be a defined winner. So guys, that was my video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, you know, my predictions / rant, if you want to call it a rant, please give me a like, comment down below what you thought of it, what your thoughts of this fight are. If you're excited for this, you know, please let me know, you know, just because I'm not excited for it doesn't mean you guys can't be. That's freaking obvious. But it's like, you know, I'm not saying that you guys don't have to be excited. I just really am not excited for it. It's kind of a letdown personally. But if you guys are excited for it, please let me know. Let me know what you thought of the video, what you think about the fight. And if you could subscribe to my channel, that'd be so great. That would really help me out. I post videos about Death Battle regularly, whether it be predictions, reactions. I have my own versus series, Who'd Win and Why, which is going to be coming back fairly soon. So, yeah, if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be so great. And I would love to have you as a subscriber. So, hey, I'm the Raptor. So guys, I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, do everything I said before, and I will see you all you guys later with a brand new video. Peace.